Hi, my name is Asif Khan, and I'm a cloud solution architect at Microsoft. So I've been doing in the past a lot of videos around Azure services and been trying to explain as much as I know of about how these services are available and how you can utilize them to solve your business problems or your POCs or do your own projects. But today's video is not about any of the Azure service. It's more about the role revelation. Now, the reason why I came across and thought about doing this video was I was looking into a couple of different videos which were posted by other people, and they have definitely invested a good amount of time and effort in putting those contents. But what I found was they did miss a lot of different key areas and key points. And those videos are mostly around different roles which are available in the large enterprise and organizations like Microsoft, Google, or AWS about roles like the cloud solution architect role, the role of like a customer engineer role or a software developer role. So obviously, I have not been through all the roles which are available in these organizations, but I've been fortunate enough to obviously have colleagues and different friends who are working in other large organizations like AWS and Google, and I have some bit of understanding of what they do and what those roles are. But being more specific, I'll be trying to focus more on the Azure-based cloud solution architect role because that's what I've been living and doing from past 2 years. So this is a role revelation series where I'll be presenting different roles which are available in organizations and what are the different expectations and as well as like what exactly you should do or how exactly you should prepare yourself to get it land into those roles without having a lot of friction of skilling on steroids. That's what I have seen. Some people who land in the role, they don't know what exactly they signed for, and eventually they have to have a lot of tussle to upskill, or sometime even things go south and the outcomes are not very good. So yeah, in the role revelation series, it will not only be me because fortunate enough to work with a very extreme smart colleagues and friends. I'll be bringing in people from different roles within the Microsoft as well as I'll try to get people from other clouds as well. But all these different discussions will be around the cloud-based roles to be very specific. Now, to start with, I think I'll be looking at firstly, like what exactly is a cloud solution architect within the Microsoft realm and within the Microsoft ecosystem. So, what is a cloud solution architect? Now, if you look into YouTube, you'll find thousands of videos. Everyone have their own opinion. I'm no one to say whether they are right or wrong. What I'll tell you is more about my experience as a cloud solution architect. Now, coming back from my background, so I've been in the industry for almost 16 years now. Out of those 16, 15 years, 13 years, I was a developer and tech lead and roles like that. And past couple of years, I've been doing architect roles. Now, with the cloud solution architect role, it is very specific about the cloud. It's not a solution architect role, it's a cloud solution architect role. Now, there are different acronyms or names which are used in different clouds. The three big clouds which are currently in market are Microsoft Cloud, which is Azure, AWS Cloud, and the Google Cloud Platform, which is GCP. Now, in Microsoft, this is the role is represented as cloud solution architect. In AWS, it's called as solution architect or even cloud solution architect. In GCP, I've seen that they don't have very specific aligned role, but they're the very common or a role which aligns the most is something called as customer engineer role. Now, I'll be truthful again. I have not worked as in any of the clouds like AWS, Google, so it's all based on my understanding as well as my previous experiences where I have been interviewed by other clouds. So all the things which I'm talking about, the Microsoft cloud is definitely a source of truth. You can consider that, but other clouds definitely you can do your own like a check and verify those details. So with respect to the Azure-based cloud solution architect, considering cloud, I would expect that you already know cloud and what are the fundamentals around that. I won't be covering those things. But if you look at cloud, in Azure, there are more than 300 plus services. Now, each service have their own capability. From the very high level, if you look at it, you'll feel that everything is doing the same. But that's where a cloud solution architect comes in. And the main objective of a cloud solution architect is that you need to understand those services. And in simple English, when I even talk to the customers, what I explain them is cloud solution architect is someone who understand these Azure cloud services, something like Legos. So if you would have ever used Lego blocks, you would have known that there are all different pieces, different types, different sizes. Some are square, some are rectangles, some are circles, and whatnot. As a Lego builder, what you need to know is, or a good Lego builder is one who knows which block can be coupled with another, and they can build a robot or maybe a car or maybe a house or something like that. Similar is the situation for a cloud solution architect. So you need to understand all the services within the cloud ecosystem, as many as possible. If I say all, obviously it will be over optimistic, because all will, it's very hard to get into level, very detailed level for all the services, but as many service, you have to firstly classify yourself in which area of cloud you want to basically expedite in. So with respect to cloud, there on a high level there are three major areas. So there is application side of things, there is infrastructure side of things, and then there is data side of things. Now, in these classifications, there are, in the application side, again, there are platform as a service and infrastructure as a service, which are the topmost umbrella. So any cloud we look at, there are fundamentally two different segments. There is a platform as a service and there is an infrastructure as a service. Now, within that two umbrellas, there are different areas. So it can be application, it can be infrastructure, it can be data services. Now, if obviously if you look in, you'll find there are other top level umbrella as well, which is like PaaS, IaaS, which is platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Recently, there has been a lot of acronyms around FaaS, which is function as a service, and then I've also heard things like iPaaS, which is integration platform as a service, and then it goes on and on. But on a general note, very commonly accepted throughout the industry is there is platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Under that, you can have application, you can have infrastructure, you can have data services. Now, once you have these classification done, you basically can select one or more based on whatever your skill set is or whatever past experience you have. So as what is a cloud solution architect? So cloud solution architect is the one who basically knows what are the different Lego blocks inside the bag and how each Lego work with other Legos so that you can get the best possible outcome as a business solution for the customers. So what does a cloud solution architect do? That's a very fair question. Now, as I said, cloud solution architect is someone who knows about the different Legos which are there in the bag. It's whether it is Azure Cloud, AWS Cloud, or Google Cloud. Now, obviously, just knowing that and having a technical understanding is not what is expected out of a cloud solution architect in the Microsoft realm. As a cloud solution architect, you are basically the bridge between the customer and the Microsoft technology and the product team and all the internal sales segment. Because the customer has normally a business problem which they want to solve. We have a lot of different teams who are in the sales side. We have the product team who build the products and stuff. But we need somebody in the middle who would act as a bridge between the products which are built by Microsoft Azure and the customer problems so that he can basically use those products, which I explained earlier, like Legos, and put them all together so that a solution can be built and provided to the customer. Now, this is a very good point to even talk about the difference between what is cloud-based sales or cloud-based implementation or cloud-based solution compared to a conventional where you had on-prem infrastructure or let's say your own infrastructure and you used to build solutions. So historically, everything was very much like a solution, or not solution, but CapEx OpEx model. So you used to basically buy hardware, create your solution, put your hardware and solution on top of it. With the cloud world, there's no more CapEx OpEx. Everything is consumption, and you don't sell products or you don't sell hardwares. You basically sell solutions. That's what the core difference between a cloud-based sales or cloud-based customer interaction compared to a conventional on-prem or your colo data center-based implementation, which has been happening in the past. So as a cloud solution architect, you have to basically understand the business problem, find the legit solution, and then also think about the long-term perspective about the pre-sale pre-sale segment, about the post-sale segment, and about the implementation side. So you are basically in the middle of everything from pre-sales, which is where you go and talk to the customer, understand their business problem. Then you have basically the implementation cycle where you would be involved with the partners, you would be involved with other organizational resources. Now, with respect to what I mean by partners, so obviously because a cloud solution architect doesn't work with one particular customer or one particular problem statement, he would be dealing with multiple customer, multiple problem statement. So practically speaking, it's not possible that you can go and solve all the problem and do a build as well. So that's where the partner comes in. And a lot of organizations are there. Some of the popular ones are like Insight, Software One, and list goes on. Accenture, Deloitte, PwC, these are all partner organization, and they are basically agnostic. So I'm not talking about only a Microsoft partner, but they are also AWS and Google and all the other clouds. So when the implementation comes in, that's where we have these partners who help in building the solution for the customer. And as a cloud solution architect, you oversee that the best practices are followed and all the right services are used. Now, the third stage is where we talk about the delivery, where everything has been delivered. So it's business as usual. So business as usual is where we have to now quantify the cloud, because till now we were having a problem and customer was more focused on solving that problem. But going forward, the customer will ask for, okay, I have invested on the cloud, I am running my workloads, but I used to pay X dollar, now I'm paying, let's say, X minus one or X plus one. What is the benefit of coming to the cloud? So that's where we talk about the optimization, and that's where we have to look into the customer and basically optimize, because the power of cloud is all about the telemetries which are generated, and then you can basically predict that, okay, the customer has no particular no transactions which happen during the weekend, or the customer has no visitors or no particular clients who are visiting the application over the Christmas break or whatnot. So those are the things which you get as a telemetry from the cloud, and then you can utilize them for automation, things like shutting down the environment, things like ramping down the environment or ramping up the environment, so that you can build that cost optimization model for the customer, and that's where the value comes out for long-term purpose. So what does a cloud solution architect does? Basically, a cloud solution architect look after all these different stages from pre-sales to implementation to business as usual or post sales or deployment, post deployment. And that's where he has to put his inputs in each of those areas depending on the point in time and customer asks. So the next one is, how can I become a cloud solution architect? Now, in the recent time, I have seen things have changed dramatically. Based on my experience, I can tell you in the past, when I started my career, architect was something which was considered to be somebody who has already lived a developer cycle, application lifecycle management cycle, who understands end-to-end experience about applications, about all the things. But of recent, I've seen everything has changed. With the cloud solution architect role, I have seen interns who join as a cloud solution architect. I have seen people who have 30 years of experience in the industry join as a cloud solution architect. So, how can you become one? Firstly, you need to decide which cloud you are targeting, because if somebody says, I will be cloud agnostic, yeah, best of luck with that. But yeah, it will be really hard, because even getting expertise in one cloud is practically not possible in one lifetime. Because the reason I can say that confidently is because this is a moving window. So cloud is not like something built and now it's done. It's not like, let's say, HP rack, or let's say a Dell hardware, or let's say a Windows 95 or Windows NT, which was done and then locked, and then till the next version came out, it was as is, or maybe a little bit updates. Cloud is a moving window. Today the service is there. 2 months time there will be a total new service, and the one which you were dealing with, it's already gone. So how can you become one? It's more about keeping up with whatever cloud you have selected. So firstly, select a cloud. Secondly, you have to keep yourself updated. Now, with respect to the updates, you don't need to have that nitty-gritty or maybe very detailed, in-depth understanding of everything, because that's again not possible. But as I said earlier, based on the two umbrellas, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Under that, you have application, infrastructure, and data. You basically decide what are your areas of interest and you would like to expedite yourself. And then obviously you need to also have a basic understanding of rest of the areas as well, because as I said, a cloud solution architect role is somebody who knows all the Legos, at least on a high level, and knows which Lego would be plugged with the other one so that you get the most optimal experience. So you can become cloud architect at any level with respective to whether you are call it pass out or you are very experienced. But yeah, in a nutshell, cloud architect, the expectation will be that you would have that understanding of tackling business problems, so working with the customers, solving customer issues, and building that trust with the customer. So the customer should have faith and trust in you, because otherwise all the conversation are of no value. So that trust and faith comes with obviously legit recommendations, suggestions, and obviously living in customer shoes. So that is something which, as a cloud solution architect, you have to understand. And you can basically live the role in flying colors. So on the flip side, yeah, if you are a very fresh grad and just started your career, again, that's not something carved in the stone. That's my personal opinion. I would recommend that, yeah, you can get into the role, but also try to look into more engine room type of roles where things like a software developer role or let's say a tech lead role or roles where you do hands-on. Because in a cloud solution architect role, what I have seen, it's a high level abstraction. So you don't get to see that code level challenges or code level implementation knowledge when you are working as a cloud solution architect. The closest you get to the code is more about when you do a POC or when you work with the partners on basically building the solution and you get across some challenges and stuff like that. So my recommendation is obviously to become a good cloud architect or an architect in a general sense, you need to have that nitty-gritty under the hood details and understanding, not only at the theoretical level, but at the practical level. And it will also help you in a couple of different ways, because let's say when you are in front of the customer, he will be talking to you about a business problem, which might be for a business area which has been newly expanded, or might be for a product which has already been deployed. Now, if you have just the theoretical understanding and customer is talking about a specific bug, issue, error, or practice challenge, then it will be really hard for you to basically simulate that in your head and translate that into what exactly can be a optimal solution, because technically speaking, you never lived those experiences. Yeah, so I think obviously nobody ever is able to live all the experiences, and customer will always surprise you. But the more you are experienced with the lower level implementation, the more fractional and more factual responses you will be able to give to the customer. So that would be my recommendation for anyone who want to become a cloud solution architect. So hopefully, all these different areas we discussed today would be of help, and feel free to put in your comments, suggestions, recommendation, what you would like to look forward for the role reveal revelation podcast, which I'm trying to run.